Oh, single issue groups. I think that's what it's
Yeah,
no.
single issue parties?
Yeah, single issue. They're kind of like that.
You're comparing that to the previous chapter, right?
Yeah.
Influencing public opinion. To supply the public with information and organization, things people should have is to build a positive image for a group and to promote a particular public policy.
They're trying to persuade people to see things their way? Is that
Yeah, they try to put out information that they believe will benefit whoever they're trying to
It's
help.
more consensual that people have to.
propaganda is?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Yeah.
Business, man, business. So propaganda, there are interest groups that try to create the public's attitude they want by using propaganda. And so the development of mass media in this country encourages the use of propaganda. It must be simple, interesting, incredible, and with credible terms to be successful. It's spread through every form of mass communication. It could be in the sense of television, radio, newspaper, and flyers, and so it's just ways to get their ideas out there and to gather members and to inflict causes.
Joey, I have a question.
Yes.
If a special interest group decides to promote a certain idea on TV, do you think it will be more successful if they include who they are or if they just include their message?
Like if they were to like bring politics in, like if whether
Like
it be
if
Democrat.
they, like if they're like having
Like if
a
they were just to
commercial-
release
like-
information.
Yeah, like them,
or-
like their idea, like what they're backing up, but they don't say like, oh, like it's a political, it's like an interest group that's trying to say this. Like if they just have a message going out there, but they don't say who they are. Like, do you think it's more successful if they do say who they are, or if they just leave that out?
For
Well,
instance, like
if-
ACLU or something like that?
Like-
the Farm Bureau or...
Yeah, like for example, if I were to like, if I were part of like a no gun control special interest group, and if we were to make a commercial about these guys shooting guns and how fun it is, like shooting, but we don't say it's from our group. Like we just,
From that interest group?
yeah, we don't say who we are. We just like throw this message out. Like, is it more successful that way, or just to say, oh, like we are the no gun control interest group, and
I
So-
think with the
believe-
message alone will be pretty obvious what interest group you're.
Especially if it's big commercial.
So I think also the difference that it would make to give your name out there would be somewhat in the sense to where the people that are looking at the commercial, they're seeing the commercial, and at the very end, it just ends, and nothing. They're just like, well, who brought that? Who do we choose to speak to? And so I think that if you put your logo out there, or at the very end, it's like brought to you by blah blah blah. The people now are able to go out there and they are able to search up your interest group, and they could see whether it's a reliable source or not. Because the TV, you watch a lot of stuff on TV. Anyone could put anything out there, and so if a person has the view as to who's bringing what changes, and they're able to go out there and they're able to find, the group, and they are able to see whether it's credible or not. Because you don't want to just believe anything, that is fed through you in the TV. So I
have a question. Do you think that the interest groups are using social media for propaganda?
Most definitely.
And who does that affect more? Does that affect more people my age, or does that affect people more your age, our age?
Well, it depends on how bad you're using your Twitter or Facebook and how much time you spend on it.
The interest groups know of what methods to aim at what specific groups, like younger groups, would be like through Twitter, social media, all that kind of stuff, and then other people maybe
Like
other groups maybe through
LinkedIn.
radio or television, because they know that or newspapers target. I wouldn't say that older people, but yeah, you don't see many young teenagers out with their newspaper, So yeah, the interest groups know what way to reach out to the group that they want to.
So such as maybe like the ISIS, you know, they got like all those Twitter accounts like hooked up on it.
Did you say ISIS?
Did you guys know, the anonymous group?
Uh-huh.
Like, I guess they were being targeted by the ISIS group, so the anonymous was like, you guys crossed the line, now we're gonna target everything you post up, and we're gonna take it down every time we see you post something, like as soon as we can.
Well,
So there's some pictures of some.
Oh, I get it. Oh, nice. That's great.
So you guys like to think that you guys could be president, huh? It's not gonna happen if you don't have a lot of supporters with a lot of money behind you.
And that's what interest groups are for. So that's how a lot
We're
of
talking about PACs right now.
It's not the same.
So you're saying special interest groups provide the money necessary
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
elected
Time.
officials?
Did you guys all see your worksheet yesterday? You know that guy that was looking into the house? Like, they have a lot of influence. So, lobbying.
Lobbying is usually defined as those activities by which groups' pressure are brought to bear on legislatures and the legislative process. What happens after a law that has been passed is of real concern because depending on how those laws are interpreted or how well they're being enforced will determine the success of an interest group.
And where did they get the name lobbyists or lobbying? Do you remember that from the chapter?
Yes. Agreed.
Great.
Well, if you guys go into a lobby, think about that. You go into a lobby, where are you?
And
Like
In a place with a lot of like people
So if you're in the lobby
Waiting
of
to be
the,
heard.
Movie theater, where are you?
waiting to enter.
Okay, so it used to be back in the old days, I know this sounds weird, but you used to be able to go up and knock on the front door of the White House, or you could walk right into the Capitol building. And as people, as congressmen and senators would come out, these people hanging out in the lobby would try and say, hey, pass my bill, or listen to me, I've got a point. So they got this derisive term known as lobbyists.
Oh!
That's why they don't want to be called lobbyists. They want to be called, like,
They would say different names in there, like they would try to give themselves a different name.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, right. They call themselves a council group or whatever.
yeah.
lobbyists are ready to make campaign contributions, provide information, write speeches. The information is usually quite accurate. Most lobbyists know if they don't say the truth, they would damage or destroy their credibility. And while there's been cases where what they put out is not always true, but I mean, they try not to. If they're smart, they're gonna try not to put false information, because if they do, then that destroys their whole purpose of them, of their credibility, which is something they don't want to lose.
Don't burn your bridges.
Yeah, there you go.
So do you think lobbyists have had an influence on what's happening in Indiana right now?
There was actually a lot of protests yesterday going on. They were saying that the law was going to discriminate against gays, and that when did we start giving them the right to discriminate, against people and their rights to live and all that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of controversy that is going to be going on, and they were ready to pass the bill yesterday. They were ready to sign it, but.
Oh, it's signed.
It is signed.
Oh, you guys signed it? Oh yeah, he said they were gonna sign it in the morning sometime today. That was fine. Yeah, like maybe they could have been heard, and maybe they could have tried harder. But if the bill got passed, then they probably didn't affect it a lot.
Yeah, remember, guys, America runs on democracy, not Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you.
What's that?
Dude, that's bars, bro.
Man, now it's donuts.
Yeah, now you're